to Stay Lit, where real stories light the way. Today's guest is a true testimony of what it means to rise from the fire and keep building when the odds are stacked against you. Born and raised on the west side of Detroit, she's a woman of grit, grace, and God's given purpose. From sleeping by the fireplace as a child to packaging beauty orders from the trunk of her car, she has turned survival into success and pain into purpose. She's the founder of the Shana Monet collection, a beauty branded root in resilience, and today she's here to share her powerful journey. Please welcome Shana Monet.
Hi, y'all.
Thank you so much, Shana Monet, to being a part of Stay Lit today. I'm so excited to have you. How are you feeling?
So I'm feeling phenomenal because I'm here on my first show.
Yes, we are so excited and honored that we are your first platform for your first show and many more to come for you.
Yes.
All right, so I like to get started with just an icebreaker and just gonna pull a card.
Okay.
And I will pull a card as well. And because you're our guest, you will go first.
Okay. If you didn't worry about the consequences of what other people thought, what's something you would love to do? Because why I'm thinking run for president or something. I'm thinking something.
Go big or go home.
You know?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it's consequences because possibly, being a woman, but other than that.
I like that. I like that. That's beautiful. That's a lot of responsibility, but you know how I think as a kid they would say, "Would you be president for a day?" I would want to be president for a day.
Yeah.
For a day.
Why not?
That's the leadership and responsibility of a whole nation is huge. But that's what you have a team for. They have a team.
Exactly.
Okay.
Build a system.
Yes. Mine is, what's something you feel hopeful about? I always get a good question too when I do this. Something that I feel hopeful about is that I'm hopeful about what I'm doing, where I'm going will be very solid and systematic in the next. Well, we have 5 or 6 months of this year. So by the end of the year, I'm very hopeful just to have a solid foundation. I think I'm in the harvest season and building season, and it's very chaotic and tiresome. But I am hopeful that it will not always be like this. And by the end of the year, I will have more breathing room than I do now.
Yes.
Absolutely. But thank you so much for participating.
Yes,
Okay, so I am so excited just to hear more about you. I really appreciate the insight that you have provided on our guest forum, just sharing your story. It is so beautiful. And I know a little bit about you based off of what you share, but let's share with the audience about who is Shana Monet? What is that brand? Who are you? And where are you today?
So Shana Monet is a lifestyle brand. We started in 2017 in Michigan. And right now we are located right here in Houston, Texas. This has been a great transformation for us. I will say expanding. We've been expanding because we're still located in Michigan, but we have expanded here in Texas, in Houston, Texas. So as of right now, we've been doing a lot of collaborations. I've seen a lot of growth within the collaborations and a lot of expansion within of this year of 2025. I would say this is our year of growth. 2017 from 2025 we've had our ups and downs. Like any other business, but like I said, we don't give up. We have not gave up at all.
Absolutely.
And we do keep going. We have kept going, and I've built an amazing team too. So my team has helped me, have pushed me, and yeah, we're here in 2025. We are still going, and we're going strong.
Yes, I really love that you mentioned a team because a team is very, very important. Being an entrepreneur, we wear many hats.
Yes.
And to be able to enjoy and maintain that passion for what we have to do, we do have to delegate and share that passion with others that also believe in the vision and have the same passion, but in their own gifts and talents. And we all come together to maintain what it is that we're doing and to continue to grow. And so, yes, team and growth and foundation are key things when it comes to being an entrepreneur. And I'm glad that you were able to, you have that support and you have that team that you need. Yes. And so with that, I know that it could be very difficult because, like you said, you started in 2017 and you're in the season of growth. And here at Stay Lit, we really like to emphasize that there are a lot of great things that happen, but I'm sure there's a lot of downfalls and lessons that you've learned along the way. And so, can you share a little bit about what has your experience been with these lessons, and how have those experiences shaped who you are today as an entrepreneur, as a Black woman in the business world and building your brand? What source of what kept you motivated and what kept you going during those hard times?
Yeah, so for me, what kept me going was, of course, God. Prayer have been a huge factor in my life. I journal every single morning. So without, that's like my morning routine. It's like my routine to get me throughout the day. And if I don't journal or do something that's going to be towards God or talking to God daily, I don't feel like I'll be able to have the strength to do it on my own for that day. So a lot of prayer, a lot of talking with God daily is what really helps me and pushes me.
Absolutely.
And staying consistent too.
Yeah.
Staying consistent no matter if it's as small as 1% every day. I'm going to just keep pushing no matter what. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I really love that. Definitely stay rooted and aligned with God. Because I always say I don't want anything that's not within his will. You can take it all away. And if that's what God is saying at that time, then that's what must be done, to trust in that process. And you know, it could be difficult when we don't really see the full picture that he does, and we're in the midst of just being in the season he has placed us, but not really be fully aware, understanding where he's taken us and why we may be experiencing what we're experiencing and what growth may come out of that through the hardships. And most importantly, also the fear of the unknown and the pain, because it could be very tiresome and draining and sometimes feel stuck. And so when we are in those moments, when you can you tell us a little bit about a moment when you knew you had to keep going even when it looked like nothing was working?
Okay, so for me, it will be moving to Houston. Moving to Houston has been a huge process for me. I would say it started with a vision. I do vision boards every year. So it started with the vision board. I created the vision board. I looked at that vision board for about, I would say about 5 months until I actually made the move. So as I'm still a little, I was just a little confused or contemplating on if I was going to even move. I ended up moving. Um, I would say it was April of 2022 is when I finally made my move. When I made the move, I was at a very low point because I sold everything. I started from scratch when I moved to Houston. So I didn't really know what exactly God had planned for me, but I knew it was something because I was here. And I took all that time to think about coming here. So when I got here, I knew it was no turning back.
Yeah.
And I always knew home was home. So if I ever need to go home, it was going to be there. But it was really no going back, right? I always want to just stick to the plan A. I don't want to think of a plan B. So as I'm sticking it out, and God is I'm transforming as well as I see a lot. I'm also building character. So I was building character. I'm transforming, transitioning, and just becoming a whole different woman within that process. I felt it. I seen it. Um, I've had a lot of low points where I have no family, barely any friends, here, or or barely any support, really.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a lot of strangers I'm meeting in Houston. It was just building, friendships, business, friends, and other like-minded people that was on my same kind of frequency, I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely. I often hear that, especially Detroit. There's a lot of people from Detroit and Houston.
yeah,
There's
that's
a
what
lot of
yeah.
people. But they all kind of are on the ones that I've met that are on the business side of things. Felt that they were just refreshed as an entrepreneur when they came to Houston, and it was a big shift
Yeah.
in their mindset and their work ethic and connections and relationships that have really driven their business growth. And so I do
Right.
see a lot of commonality with that, with people that do come to Houston. Even when I moved from New Orleans and I came to Houston, they're like, you just moved to Houston and blew up. And looking back, I could see how they could see that. But they also didn't know, like, the first year was rough and it was a lot of confusion and feeling like, okay, you brought me here, God, but where do you want me to go? What should I be doing? And went into a 6-month depression before it really, they saw the fruits of whatever was building. But speaking on the behind the scenes of things, and I know that you mentioned that you had to start from scratch coming to Houston. And so can you share a little bit about, like, what do people not see behind the scenes of building a brand from scratch? Not only your brand itself, but also in another city where you had to literally start introducing Shana Monet and what the brand means and building those relationships and networking to be able to drive your business.
So definitely building it. I started, like I said, I started in Michigan. So building it in Michigan, I became pretty successful from 2017 to 2019. 2019 is when I started getting noticed, even in my own city. And that's when people really started to buy from me, and I started to be noticed and known for my brand. When I will be out, people will say, "Oh, you're the girl that sells this. You're the girl that sells that." So anything I sold, that's what they will label me as. So which would be a good thing. I'm like, okay, what I'm doing must be working. So I started there, and just I was able to build confidence when I built my brand in Detroit, Michigan. Even though I'm from there, it was still the fact that I was able to build a brand and people still noticed me within a few years that I did build my brand. So coming to Houston, it was a transition, but I still had confidence that I could do it no matter what.
Yeah.
Because Detroit taught me a lot as far as survival skills. Detroit, when it comes to um, adapting. That's another thing. I can adapt pretty much anywhere. I've realized that too. Coming to Houston, it helps me to realize, like, oh, I could actually adapt. I can get along with people. It took some time because it's more southern. It's a little bit different from the Midwest, but I was able to adapt. I actually love the southern kind of hospitality that Houston brings. But I would definitely say, that whole transition, Detroit definitely helped mold me into the woman I am. But Houston has helped me with my growth as the woman I'm becoming.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Good. I really love that you took both experiences from both cities and continue to make it a part of your journey.
Yes.
And not negate what you have learned. Because I think sometimes when people come from their home state, they kind of resent it, or they kind of have some type of, they need to heal from those experiences, so they kind of suppress them and not allow them to be a part of their story or embrace those experiences, good or bad. And so the fact that you took what you learned and you continue to allow them to be a part of the woman you are becoming and adapt to your journey here and combine those. I think that's such a beautiful experience, and just goes to show the type of woman that you are. And that's really good that you have that ability. I thank y'all so much for joining us back and stay lit with Shana Monet. And it's been a great time thus far. And I'm going to continue just to her to share her story about her experience as an entrepreneur coming from Detroit and really just continuing to grow her brand. But not just her brand, it also grow as a woman, which is all very important because being an entrepreneur, if you did not know, and if you're branding correctly, you do have a brand, but you yourself is also a brand, and it's just very important that you represent that in that way. In order to do that, you also have to continue to work on yourself. And so, as we continue to discuss about your experience as an entrepreneur, and I'm sure there are a lot of viewers out there that either have the fear of wanting to start a business or they have started a business but they may be afraid to take that extra step or that risk because they have little to no resources. And so, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs out there that are starting out with little to no resources?
So my advice would be do it anyways, even if you feel or you think what you are creating or what you have right now is not enough. Do it anyways. Get the feedback you need because it's best to push it out when you have it because a lot of people I've experienced and talked with a lot of people, they sit on a lot of their creativity and they never put it out. So I would just say put it out anyways. I remember going outside and creating my own backdrops and different things from going to Michael's or Joann's Fabric and going to get my own type of um, little mini billboards or anything. I will build my own and I'll go outside with the natural lighting and I'll take pictures with my own iPhone camera and I'll put it out there. If I get the feedback, okay. If I don't, then I know, to put something else out there. But I would say just put it out there anyways. No matter how you feel or what you think or put it out, I would say.
Absolutely. And what I'm hearing is just kind of being an entrepreneur, it's a big combination of taking risk. And I would say that I oftentimes see posts or people say that God didn't ask you what was in your bank account before He gave you the idea, right? And so, if He has put you in the position to be able to use your creativity, your gift, your service to be able to serve His people, then He will pave the way. And so, He will give you the resources along the way, even when you feel like you may not have them right now, or you may not feel like if I do X, Y, and Z, you're allowing those intrusive thoughts of like, what if it fails? What if I'm broke? What if I'm in debt? What if, what if, what if? And you could be holding yourself back from an opportunity that can open up more doors. But if you do fail, you at least, like you said, I have learned something from this experience. And it's all about a mindset thing. And how can you shift it to see, okay, this is what I did wrong. Now I know what to do the next time. But also knowing that God never leaves us nor forsakes us. So He's with you every step of the way, even when it feels like the boat is getting a little rocky. And so I really love that you just emphasize the idea of just taking that risk and see where it may go.
Right.
And that's why being rooted in God and knowing that He's with you will help you to build that confidence that you have been sharing to be able to take those risks, because that's what it really stems from, is having confidence within yourself that you have the ability to do it, and that support with God in your corner, and then also a team that also supports you in your vision that can help you stay motivated even when you are tired or you maybe not see the full vision because you're blindsided by all of the responsibilities that you carry as an entrepreneur. Yeah. So I really, really love that. And speaking, we have had some common patterns of just speaking about how, we have to maintain our confidence and we have to be able to continue to take risk, and continue to overcome the hardships that it may be with being an entrepreneur and starting a brand. And so with that comes mental health challenges. And no matter how rooted we may stay connected with God, things do get tiresome and things do get a little rocky. And so how do you take care of your mental health now after years of being in survival mode, of you just being in Detroit? Like you said, Detroit taught you a lot of those adaptability and resilient skills that you have learned. How did you get to that point? And how do you take care of your mental health?
Yeah, for me, my mental health, I fast a lot. So I use fasting as a way for my mental health. Um, I do take care of myself as far as just my maintenance as a woman. So those help me. I use those moments of self care and moments of taking care of myself as well. I do attend a church here in Houston, so that helps me as well. So those are like my outlets that I use. And yeah, with my mental health, I do see a therapist. So therapy for me has been huge and something that I will continue to do because I've seen the transition within myself since I've been in therapy. So therapy has been another way for me to, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And me being a trauma therapist myself, and I know the impact that I can have on other people's lives, but I feel as though with the stigma with therapy, especially in the Black community, it holds a lot of people back from being in those spaces.
Yeah.
And so, what would you share with viewers who are on the edge of like, oh, I want to see what therapy could do for me, but I'm afraid of X, Y, and Z, or I'm afraid that being vulnerable in those spaces or people knowing my business or being judged. What would you say your experience has been like in that therapy space?
Yeah, so for me, therapy has been somewhere where I can be vulnerable, like you spoke about being vulnerable. I have become vulnerable. I have been able to build trust within my therapist as well. And I don't feel like I'm airing out too much of my business or my information to a lot of people who may not have my best interest. So my therapist, not saying, your therapist is just like a person, um, like they're so trustworthy, but my therapists have been with me where they built that trust with me. So it takes time, but you will know if it's time to open up to your therapist or not. You will get the feeling. It actually took me about 3 different therapists until I was able to find one. So it does take time. You're not going to open up to the first, maybe not the second, maybe not the third therapist that you may come across in your life, but if you keep going and with me, I do have discernment, so I'm pretty good with feeling the energy of people and who I'm around, and when I'm having conversations, how they react, or what kind of advice are they giving me, for me to feel comfortable enough to open up more to them.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. And I like how you said that it may take a few times. So if you are interested in therapy, it's okay to go through a few of them to see what's like the best fit for you. And so you said your brand is a part of your testimony. And what message do you hope women take away from your journey and what your brand represents?
Yeah, so we represent a lifestyle, and we represent empowering women, and also I will want women to take away um, my resilience, and my consistency, and the fact that I was able to build a brand on my own, no matter what others may have thought about, or if things was looking right. I still put it out there, and I want everyone to learn from me and my mistakes. Because I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. Like I said, with God helps me. Uh, you know, to keep building my brand. So without God, and I pretty much wouldn't be anywhere. So definitely just keep going, no matter what, no matter how you feeling. Just keep going, really. Yeah.
Absolutely. And like you said, I really love that your brand represents it's a lifestyle. And that's what my brand represents as well, with just modeling of this idea that it's a lifestyle and purpose doesn't take PTO. And so you have to really embrace that and word to word. It doesn't always have to, because having a switch on and off can be draining sometimes. But if you put that as your foundation, that is something that you will always walk on, rather than having to continue to, like I said, go on and off. And so embracing it's a lifestyle in every space that you're in, have that confidence to own it, and own it as whether you're as a brand or just as a person, of who you are and what value do you bring to this world, because each and every one of us has a value. We just have to learn to find it, keep it lit even when people try to take it away from us, and embrace it and not be afraid to share it and to own it. And so with that, I love that you really focus the value of empowerment and making women embrace that as a lifestyle, especially in this day and age, where people um, may sometimes create space for like competition, and not as collaborative, and not put people in position to help grow if they can. And so empowerment and giving people the tools and the resources to be able to maintain a good well-being is very important in this world. And I think the easiest way to empower people is to be an example of something that they strive to be, or they didn't even know was possible,
Right.
because they're seeing it in flesh and in person, and they know your story, and they know that like if she did it, I can do it too.
Right.
Because a lot of times people, when they don't see it that it's possible, the idea now becomes um impossible for them. And their brain can't fathom the idea of actually engaging in that way or achieving success in that way. And it just nearly becomes a dream. And we want to be able to be in a space where we can make our dreams a reality and see the vision, even if it feels like it's so far away. And so, what's next for Shanae Monet? And where do you want to leave viewers with?
So what's next is we do plan on being in a lot of different stores around the world. Stores like Nordstrom's, Saks Fifth, Neiman Marcus, Bloomingdale's. So those are our goals. We've been doing a lot of collaborations. We've done our first collaboration with Nordstrom's at the Galleria Mall right here in Houston, Texas. So that was an amazing experience. And we plan on going and being in a lot more locations around the world. So a lot of expansion is in our near future for the brand, and building a bigger team. Like I said, we do have a team right now of 5, and that team of 5 have been phenomenal with the roles that they have been within the brand. But so far, expansion has been like on the top of our list for the brand.
Absolutely. And definitely blessings with you as you continue to expand. And that God continues to give you the strength and the discernment and the wisdom to navigate the journey that you're on. Not only with yourself, but also your team as they continue just to grow. And that God's hand is in every decision that you make. And every collaboration and every partnership that continues to, prosper your business into the next season that it's going to be in. And I'm very excited to see what your end of the year will look like as you continue just to opportunities are opening and you're just growing as a woman and as an entrepreneur. And so thank you so much for being a part of Stay Lit. Your journey has been phenomenal, and I really hope that it touches our viewers and it leaves them with some motivation and inspiration, but most importantly, knowing that if there's something that you want to do, just go ahead and do it. She is now a living testimony that even through the hardships, even through the difficulties, you have everything that within you, and God has created you perfectly to be able to achieve anything that you would like. I don't know about you, but I feel charged after that conversation. Shanae Monet, thank you so much for showing us that survival isn't the end of the story. It's the soil where purpose grows. Your faith, your grit, and your honesty. It's a reminder to every listener that God still uses the underdog, and there's beauty in the rebuilding. Y'all make sure to follow her journey and support the Shanae Monet collection. And remember, no matter what you've been through, you still have the power to stay lit. See y'all next time.